Right. So Donald Trump is in hot water. He's in big trouble. They're trying to impeach him again, right? So let me just read you this from the BBC very briefly. Yes, our good friends over at the British Broadcasting Corporation have bought. So look at this. They're saying Democrats start push to oust the US president. Okay, so they've introduced articles of impeachment. Okay, now the way this is working, Democrats say a vote on the article will go ahead in the House on Wednesday unless Vice President Mike Pence invokes constitutional powers to remove Mr. Trump from office. Okay, and Mr. Pence is said to oppose the idea. What is this idea? It's the 25th Amendment. Okay, so Nancy Pelosi said, quote, the president represents an imminent threat to our Constitution, our country, and the American people, and he must be removed from office immediately. And the impeachment resolution accuses the president of encouraging his supporters to storm the Capitol building at a rally in which Mr. Trump alleged without evidence that November's presidential election was stolen from him, right? So what you need to understand about the 25th Amendment, this is basically something that was introduced after Kennedy was assassinated. So, you know, it says that if the president is incapacitated, that, you know, and he can't fulfill his duties, the vice president takes over. In this case, that would be Pence, and which is kind of weird, right? Like, why does Nancy Pelosi want Pence to take over? You know, there's always been a lot of debate about whether that would be better or worse to have Pence in lieu of Trump, which is an interesting debate to be had indeed. Nonetheless, look, man, we all know this is not going to work because it's not going to pass in the Senate. Okay, so like if you think that Trump is going to be removed from office, no, that's not happening. Just like the first time it didn't happen. So, you know, it might pass in the House just like it did the first time. Okay, so the House can impeach and then it goes to the Senate for a trial and you need a 2/3 majority to actually remove the president. That's not happening. I mean, highly doubtful. Not to mention the guy's on his way out. Like he's going to leave office on January 20th. It's January 12th now. So, you know, the Senate is most likely not even going to reconvene until I think a day before like on the 19th. So it's not happening, man. He's not being removed from office. I highly doubt that. Now, he might be impeached in the House on Wednesday, right? If they do this vote, which is likely since Pence is not going to, I highly doubt he's going to, call for the 25th. What's the word I'm looking for? Trigger the 25th Amendment, basically. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. So my point here is this is a lot like what they've been telling us about forced to vote, right? Performative bullshit. So isn't this weird how 2 weeks before Orange Cheeto Man, before this clown, Donald Trump, is supposed to leave office, all of a sudden everyone is pushing, oh my God, we have to impeach him. He is a threat to the nation. He is the most dangerous thing since, the Black Plague, you name it. Isn't that weird? 2 weeks before he's set to leave? You told us, we heard from all of these pundits, we heard from all of these progressives that they can't force a vote on Medicare for all because it's performative, right? We heard this from Sirota. We heard this from Emma Vigeland over at the Young Turks, right? We heard this from a wide array of people that, we can't force the vote because it's just performative. What do you call this? This is not performative. This is utterly useless. This is probably the most useless thing I've ever seen in my life. 2 weeks before he's supposed to leave? What is that going to accomplish? What is that going to accomplish? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm not a constitutional litigator or a constitutional historian, but if I recall correctly, this rumor that's been going around that if he's impeached a second time, he can be prevented from running in 2024. That's not true. I think the Senate has to do that, and they need a 2/3 majority to make sure he could not run again. Again, I'm not 100% sure of that, so don't quote me on that. But this is not going to actually accomplish anything substantive. Now, second of all, why are they doing this only now? Why are they doing this only now and introducing one article of impeachment? right? So they're introducing, I want to quote this to you, right? Okay, so this is the second time they're pursuing impeachment, and in December 2019, we already had Trump impeached once. Why aren't they impeaching him for the emoluments clause? Like Chris Hedges said, they could have done that in the first fucking week that Donald Trump became president. The first week, they could have impeached him just on that alone, right? You remember how he's bringing all these foreign dignitaries, all these Saudis to stay at Trump Towers at his properties? You remember that? Yeah. Do you remember how he was making U.S. Air Force personnel stay at his resorts over in Scotland during their pit stops? I mean, this is just blatant corruption. Never mind, the nepotism. But there are a million things. And not to mention the fact that, he kept the support for Saudi Arabia and Yemen going, right? He overturned the ban on cluster bombs, right? Just to show you how deranged, like even the Obama administration, as disgusting and heinous as the Obama administration was, realized, like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be selling them cluster bombs. I mean, bombs are bombs, but cluster bombs are particularly inhumane. They have a high dud rate. They maim people for life. It's horrendous. Even the Obama administration was like, let's not sell them any more cluster bombs. Trump comes in, he overturns that, sells them $300 billion worth of weapons over 10 years. And that's one war. Not to mention he keeps troops in Syria, he keeps another war going, right? He keeps troops in Iraq. He keeps them in Afghanistan. I mean, he keeps all the wars going, right? And then he goes and assassinates General Soleimani. I mean, a million things you could have impeached him for. No. They come in at the last second and they pretend to give a shit. I mean, this is the pinnacle of performative. This shows you, this proves to you, without a shadow of a doubt, in case the last 4 years were not enough, this proves to you without a shadow of a doubt, the Democrats are full of shit. The media class are full of shit. These, so-called progressives, the boutique left, or faux-gressives, as you will, they're also full of shit. Now you're standing up to Trump, just now. Why weren't you standing up to him for all the things that I just mentioned, for the corruption, for his support for Israel, right? Violating numerous UN resolutions, recognizing the Syrian Golan Heights as Israeli. They're not fucking Israeli. Giving away, moving the capital to Jerusalem, recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. All of this is in violation of international law. Continuing those wars that were never approved by Congress. And again, this is a point where, it's kind of hilarious because it's like, I don't care if every single member in the U.S. Congress votes for a war. That doesn't mean the U.S. can go to war. Like, what, you think you're the world police? Fuck your Congress. Your Congress does not own the planet. It's not the UN. Fuck off. But anyway, nonetheless, there's so many reasons they could have, impeached them for. There's so many reasons the media class could have opposed them on, and they never did it. You know why? Because Democrats are complicit. Democrats would do the exact same thing. This proves to you they are full of shit. And now at the last second, they're acting like, oh my God, he's an existential threat. Yo, you gave us Trump. You, the neoliberals, you gave us Trump. First of all, you even, I mean, it's not even hyperbole to say that, like, oh, neoliberal policies led to, Donald Trump because people were so frustrated. They went, no. Hillary Clinton pushed this Pied Piper strategy. You can go and read the emails. They literally selected him. Like it's you can't make this up. They could not be more directly responsible for Trump. And now they act like he's a fucking, existential threat. So do you understand the point here? The point here is not, oh, Trump should get away scot-free. The point is that the Democrats enabled him and they gave him everything he wanted. They signed all his fucking, the defense budgets, the increase in spending. They gave him all the money for the border without any strings attached. They did everything he wanted. They left him unopposed, just let him loose. For 4 years, they profited off of him like fucking crazy. Their ratings went through the roof. Oh my God, Russiagate. And then, all the social media companies are profiting off of him because he's a huge Twitter user. He's polarizing. They milked him dry. And now at the last minute, they're like, oh yeah, now we need to take a stance. Really, how adorable, how generous of you. How generous of you. I'm so glad you finally give a shit. You motherfuckers. So anyway, I find it kind of funny that they're peculiar, let us say, right? That they're calling for the 25th Amendment, at least for Mike Pence to invoke. That's the word I was looking for before, not trigger. Both work, though. The 25th Amendment is supposed to be used with the president is incapacitated. I mean, yes, you could argue to a certain degree that Trump is quite incapacitated in various manners. Nonetheless, I mean, we're not trying to make fun of whatever is going on in his head, but the fucker is unstable. Yes, he's a war criminal, and you could argue that about every goddamn U.S. president. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they expected here. They know Mike Pence is not going to invoke anything, and it's going to go for a vote. And I want to underscore the fact that all of them were making a big ruckus out of this, right? So if you look at again, be patient. Be patient, because I really do have 5 million tabs open. So I just want to get my point across here that hold on, we got more. We got more over here. AOC, Ayanna Pressley, all of them were screaming about how he must be impeached immediately. Okay? Christ almighty, where is it? Okay, so I'm just going to pull this up for you. You can see here. All right. There we go. Wonderful. Wonderful ad bar. So look at this. Rashida Tlaib. She's saying, we must hashtag impeach Trump now and remove him. I've sent a letter with Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley to congressional leadership, calling on them to reconvene and take immediate action to get Trump out of the White House. We cannot afford to wait. We cannot afford to wait. Note the language. Note how serious this is. We cannot afford to wait. This is Cori Bush. Expel the Republican members of Congress who incited the white supremacist attempted coup. You know what I love about this tweet? Which one? which one? The one in Bolivia? Which one? Please specify, because I'm really finding it difficult to pinpoint which white supremacist coup you're talking about in which part of the world that was backed and sponsored by the U.S. government. Which one exactly? Which one? Please specify, Corey. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Look, AOC says our republic is in great danger, and it is imperiled further without swift action to protect it. The president incited an attack on Congress. He's deeply unstable. The cabinet must invoke the 25th Amendment. Congress must also pursue impeachment and removal of the president. So I just want to underscore how serious this is, right? How serious they are about this. And once again, I asked them, why were you not saying this 2 years ago? 3 years ago, do you think that the children being bombed in Yemen, or people, the million plus people in Yemen that have cholera, they can wait? It's okay for them to wait, That's okay. What about people who don't have Medicare for all? Let's think of domestic, since most Americans, I get the feeling, don't give a shit about anyone outside their borders. What about Medicare for all? Can that wait as well? Can the opioid epidemic wait? Can the male suicide epidemic wait? Can people who need insulin wait? No, they cannot. And, why not do both at the same time? Where was the sense of urgency for Medicare for all? And, if you really don't want to entertain any other thoughts, I ask you again, if you're so concerned about Trump, where was this sense of urgency before? Was he not unstable 4 years ago? Was he not unstable two years ago? I'm sure you would agree with me that he was. So where was this sense of urgency before? That's where it was. They fundraised off of this guy. They made tons of money off of this guy. They got the ratings through the roof. They enabled him. They fucking did everything. And now that he's on his way out, they're like, okay, good shit, boy. Ta-ta. And now they move on to the next chapter of the empire. They're so full of shit. They really are. They're so full of shit. They really are. Once again, you can punish Trump, yes, for his crimes, for his instability, because there are many examples of that. You can also punish the people who overran the Capitol. And you can also do your fucking job, right? Which includes getting Medicare for all, taking care of your citizens. You can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, as the Americans say, right? Isn't it your job? I mean, what other, what other activities or things are preoccupying you, if I may ask? You have literally nothing else to do except these things. So why not do both? Oh, no, you can't. It's performative. You're not allowed to have healthcare. It's performative. I'm sorry. We can't stop the wars. No. No, everything else is performative. We have to get rid of Trump 2 weeks before he's set to go anyway. More important. So again, you cannot have a floor vote for Medicare for all. Not allowed. Be quiet, you bunch of peasants. Silence the peasants, boy. Silence. But you can have 2 votes to impeach Donald Trump, knowing full well that this will not pass in the Senate and he's not going anywhere. That they can do. And the best part, once again, just like in 2019 and just like they're about to do now, it's not about things that are, of actual substance, like emoluments clause, his corruption and nepotism, profiting while in office. It's not about the wars that he's continued. It's not about anything of actual substance, because the Democrats themselves would do the same shit. Again, it's not like, I just want some consistency. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I want you to fight white supremacy everywhere. All of it, not a little bit, not just with Trump, all of it. That means the Americans that are, currently occupying Syria, right? And Iraq and Afghanistan. That's also a form of white supremacy. When you go and you subjugate people of color and you murder them and steal their resources. That's the pinnacle of white supremacy. Why are you not doing anything about that white supremacy? What, we're not people to you? Syrians, Iraqis, Afghanis, they're not human beings to you? White supremacy doesn't count outside your borders? It's you. That's your fucking government, your army. They're wearing your flag. I thought you care about white supremacy. Why aren't you fucking doing something about it? All of it, not a little bit, all of it. I think I'm owed an answer, right? I think I'm owed an answer. Or am I supposed to, accept my family being bombed and shut the fuck up about it? Because that seems to be the mantra among a lot of the boutique left. That seems to be something recurrent among a lot of so-called progressives, right? Anyway, man, more performative bullshit, right? More performative bullshit. They enabled Trump. They literally picked him out. Hillary Clinton fucking picked out Donald Trump for her Pied Piper strategy. She got that motherfucker into the Oval Office. They fundraised off of him. They had their ratings through the roof with Russiagate. And then at the last minute, now they're all concerned. They are so full of shit. They could not care less. They could not care less. I mean, and you want to talk about white supremacy? You just helped elect Biden, who's working with segregationists. Once again, do you see how inconsistent they are? How am I supposed to take you seriously? Why are you like being too fucking faced? There you go. And again, I need to point something out, man. Because to me as a Syrian, as an outsider, I know American politicians are full of shit. All of them are full of shit. So when I see things like this, I'm astonished because, you know, when these same things that they're talking about, white supremacy, you know, coups, right? Supporting coups and insurrections are happening in my country and in neighboring countries and other places in the world. They don't seem to address them in the same manner or give them the same amount of attention. And it's weird, right? Weird is putting it mildly. So there you go.